Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Season 3 of The Boys. Now, as you know, since the start I have been reviewing Season 1 of The Boys, and after reviewing Season 2, I decided to do Season 3 as soon as it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, and after making some money on my Facebook business, I managed to pick up Season 3 on Blu-ray, and after sitting down to watch the third season, I would say there is some good ideas, but there is a little bit of wasted potential. So the premise of Season 3 is meant to take place 1 year after Stormfront's giant reveal. We see now how the boys are working with Victoria Newman with the whole superhuman affairs thing, and we do kind of see how Huey wants to play things by the book, much to Butcher's dismay. And we do kind of see how other characters have either moved on or kind of sort of done their own thing. Like how Mother's Milk has kind of gone on to do his own thing, and him and his wife have now separated. And we do see how he still tries to be there for his daughter. And we do kind of see how, yeah, Huey and Starlight still try to make things work. And we do kind of see how Stan Edgar still tries to put Homelander on a leash and makes it clear that he's not going to take his crap any longer. And over the course of the series, we do see how Homelander slowly snaps bit by piece for piece, and him sort of using things as a way to control people to get what he wants. For example, yeah, using Stan Edgar's adopted daughter to Victoria as a way to kind of get him removed from Vought. We also see him trying to fall deep into joining back into the Seven by eating his pet octopus, as well as having Starlight perform Happy Birthday for him with backup dancers in Starlight's other costume. And we do kind of see how Huey learns that Victoria has powers, and we see how Butcher and the boys get back into action. And over the course of the series, we see how, thanks to Frenchie's connection with a former associate of his, Little Nina, they learn about a secret weapon in Russia that may hold the key to stopping Homelander, and even learning about V-24, which Stan Edgar tried to sell to the military, which is like a compound V variant that can grant 24-hour superpowers. And I think the third season has good ideas, but there was some wasted potential. I can kind of see where they wanted to kind of do more with Payback, being this original group of the Seven, and being this has-been group, and kind of having Soldier Boy as the leader, who was kind of like Homelander before him. Now, in the comics, so there were basically three versions of Soldier Boy. One who was the original, who fought in World War II, the other one during the 1950s, and there was the third one who was kind of a wimp, but was more of Homelander's lapdog. And yeah, what's actually interesting, in the comics, Grace Mallory's counterpart dealt with the original group of Payback due to their sort of negligent behaviour in World War II. Since this was meant to take place during the 80s, this happened during the whole events in Nicaragua, which kind of obviously foreshadowed a stage event by Payback, and even having Black Noir as original member of the group. And I can kind of see the group kind of like counterparts to the Seven, but I kind of think, yeah, having Black Noir as original member of the group made sense, because obviously his origin is a playback to the Deep, A-Train, as well as Starlight. And I think for the most part, I would say, with the side stories, do kind of work. Like, we do kind of see how A-Train tries to rebrand himself, and we do see how A-Train's brother tries to encourage him to take a stand, even though it's a fatal mistake, and him trying to get a sort of racist, kind of arrogant character, Blue Hawk, to sort of stop going around killing people in the black community, shows that while A-Train had the right intentions, it was clear that his brother tried to force too much on him and try to let him back in the family without thinking if this was really a good idea or not. And we do kind of see how, yeah, Mother's Milk has to deal with Janine's stepfather, basically Todd, who tries to force his beliefs and ideals onto Janine without realising the harm of it. And we do kind of learn more about why Mother's Milk joined the boys and his reasons for wanting to go against Soldier Boy. I think the difference between Butcher and Mother's Milk was, you can tell Mother's Milk tries to make sure that Butcher didn't make the same mistakes he did in Season 2 and 1. Here, we do see how it's affected him so badly that he doesn't really realise his own flaws and his own words from it. And we do kind of see how Butcher and even Huey use the variant of V24, which grants them superpowers. Now, in the comics, we saw how the boys only used Compound V as a way to take on Supes. And yeah, we saw them use other sort of ways against it. And I would say the one episode I would say definitely feels a little like it was overpraised was the episode Hero-gasm, because one, it just feels like another generic episode. It's gonna be edgy and all that. I just think people act like it was a big episode story when it clearly wasn't. And I kind of think they should have had Stan Edgar made Payback the next image for the Seven, because don't forget, after Season 1 and 2, Stan Edgar would probably want a new image for Vought, and you could have had Soldier Boy sort of having his own Avengers group to sort of outshine Homelander and the others. And obviously this would have had Butcher and the others wondering why Soldier Boy's returned, and this could have had the Soldier Boy leading Payback, the new Avengers group, as the sort of copy or clone, and the original sort of Soldier Boy kept in a sort of breathing tube, revealing to have multiple clones. And you could have had it with Homelander revealed to be a sort of clone, which would have made more sense. And I kind of think, yeah, there is some references to other media. For example, the whole sort of release the Schneider cut, much like with Dawn of the Seven, when they kind of had Charlie Stenfin sort of playing the sort of stand-in Stormfront, and you kind of have Stormfront sort of supporters still supporting her after everything that she's done, much like most groups would. And yeah, there's even a reference to how Blue Hawk's meant to be a reference to the whole sort of, like, people sort of taking the laws into their own hands and that. I think, well, yeah, Season 3 has its redeemable moments. It just feels like a wasted potential for Payback, and I can kind of give it credit that it shows Huey realising his mistakes and realising that he didn't really need powers. He just needed to be like his dad, a hero sort of taking a sort of stand and not relying on powers. Well, I think, yeah, the third season has its redeemable moments. It just feels like there's some characters that feel thrown in to be a little disposable. Like, yeah, obviously Supersonic thrown in to be Starlight's ex, who quickly gets killed off after 4 or 5 episodes. And it's gonna kind of have kind of the Seven kind of cut down to a small minimum. But I think this season still deserves 2 thumbs in the middles. Well, it's an okay season. It just feels like a really dull, wasted potential, and not really as good as what I think Season 2 could have been. And the same with Season 3. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.